There are many different ways to buy Bitcoin, but the cheapest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin with cash is with a coin flip Bitcoin ATM. Coin flip ATMs allow anyone to buy Bitcoin with the lowest fees and within just a few steps. Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm one of the hundreds of store owners who partner with CoinFlip. In this convenient store, we host a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM. We earn passive income, more foot traffic, and we get free advertising done by the CoinFlip team. Getting the ATM was easy. We just contact the CoinFlip team at info@coinflip.tech, and they handle everything with no cost to the store owner. This includes installation, maintenance, marketing, and even 24/7 customer service. We just provide a small space within the store. To get your own CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM and join the monetary revolution, contact CoinFlip today. info@coinflip.tech or fill out the form at request.coinflip.tech. 773-800-0106.
All right, bro, we're live. How goes it?
It's going good. How you doing?
I'm having a day. If you guys are watching live, by the way, I'm here with my bro Anthony of Smart Digital Payments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually Mike Smart. Anthony's the social media
manager. There you go. Yeah, dude, I was talking to multiple people. I got confused. Right. Mike, you said that just a second ago too in the DM. I didn't know if that's who was setting it up or So Mike, right?
Yeah, Mike Smart.
Mike Smart. How goes it, bro? Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, appreciate you scheduling the time on New Year's Eve to chill and shill with me.
Dude, well, I'm trying to set up this new year right. I'm not trying to party the first day away.
Right,
wake up with a hangover.
Yeah, no, I dig that, dude. It's definitely grind season.
Yeah. Now, too many people were sleeping during this whole quarantine thing, and I was anything but sleeping.
Yeah, I see that. So why don't we dive into a little bit about like maybe who you are, how you got into Bitcoin or crypto, and how that led you to what you're doing now with the Smart Digital Payments.
Fair enough. Well, like I said, I'm Mike Smart. I'm the CEO of Smart Digital Payments.
Is that like your real last name, Smart?
Yep, that's my real last name.
That's so badass. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. That's so good.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, it wasn't badass growing up, I'll tell you.
Right, I get it. I get that. But now that you're an adult, it's like, that's pretty G.
Right? I'm almost there. 34. It's almost an adult.
Almost.
But, yeah, no, I mean, basically, long story short, I was uneducated for the most of my life, so I was stuck doing jobs that I did not enjoy, and that kind of led me to cryptocurrency, obviously, like, trying to find a way out of the status quo. So right before this whole quarantine situation, I was working at a college that I was also attending 15 credits and working at nighttime at a bar, all while raising both my daughters by myself completely.
Respect.
Yeah. And so when this all kind of hit, I went from doing a ton of stuff and just super educating myself on business. I was taking business classes and accounting and all that, and just passively investing in cryptocurrencies. And I was doing pretty well to the point where, when everything hit, I had plenty of money to where I didn't have to stress too much about bills, and I decided I was going to start a business.
Smart, right? Invest in yourself with some of that profit.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. And contactless payments, I had been on a waiting list for the Pundy XPOS device that empowers businesses to accept cryptocurrencies as payment. I was on that waiting list for like 7 months or something ridiculous until they finally were able to sell it. And so that I just jumped on that, not really understanding the whole payments industry or anything like that. I was just super
How'd that
gung-ho.
go?
Huh?
How'd that go with the Pondy X payments physical device thing?
Right now, we're basically in the process of completing the website and having everything ready. So it's part of the entire plan.
Okay.
For Smart Digital Payments.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was not prepared for the whole payment side of things and, selling. Like, I'm not a telemarketer, and I'm definitely not, trying to be that.
Marketing's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. And it's just something I don't want to do. Like, I'm trying to build my business around the future, and that happens to partially have contactless payments involved with it, and so that's part of what I want to do.
Yeah, and we're going towards more of a digital payments option now, more than ever. And contactless just seems to be like the obvious next step. First we had swipe, then we had chip, and now we kind of have like the tap. Eventually we're just going to have a scan of some sort. It's just going to keep progressing towards that more and more contactless merchant service.
Right. Well, and that's the beauty about those devices is they have the QR code scans, they have tap cards, they have Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, all that stuff. Pretty much any NFT NFC contactless NFT. You know where my brain's at.
Right.
The NFC contactless payments and chip and pin, swipe, all that.
Right. So that's all one physical thing that can just basically accept any and every form of payment. Does it accept WeChat?
WeChat.
Yeah,
I'm not really.
Yeah, I think I've seen like WeChat accepted at like restaurants in Vegas and at the casino and shit.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what WeChat is, other than
it's a Chinese like messaging application, sort of like Facebook Messenger, but it's also like a PayPal also.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's mostly used in Asia, but I've seen it used in some places in the U.S. and I was just curious if that was actually picking up enough to be like on your radar. So maybe it's not as popular. I was hoping not.
Right.
Yeah. So where do you see 2021 going with these payment solutions as far as digital and contactless? Do you think that it's setting a new standard for what to expect when you go into a store and how to pay? Because like at this point, paying with cash is almost as embarrassing as whipping out a sock full of pennies.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing something wrong because of because of the invisible, problem at hand. It's like, ooh, I don't want to hand you this. I know.
And people don't want to take it. It's like when people would take money out of their bra to pay for something. When I worked at like Arby's, every dollar is like that dollar now. It's just fucking gross.
Yep, I agree completely. And I kind of felt that way already, anyways, just because, that's just I'm a germ freak for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, no, I have a difficult time really coming to grips with what I think the future is going to hold when it comes to payments specifically, because I almost see this as like they're just going to skip over the necessity for point of sale devices completely and, segue into, I don't know, Borg-like communications, just non-verbal, artificially intelligent RAN.
Oh, sort of like those new Amazon stores I've seen.
Yeah, almost as if,
because you just walk in, grab what you want, and walk out, and it just takes money from your account as you leave the store for the items that you have in your bag.
Right, and that's kind of where I see as well, is something like, based on scale, they removed an object, that computer chip was the closest to that object, so it must have been them. They're holding that object that has a barcode, and then the door itself is the scanner that they're like, okay, you just bought all that stuff with crypto, and instantly, the store gets their money. You don't got to worry about anything.
Yeah, I think the crypto part's the key because of the whole chargeback issue. Walking in and out of the store with a payments solution like that for a small business would definitely be game theoried and taken advantage of by asshole customers. Happens all the time to small businesses, where they'll come in, they'll buy something, and they'll just go home and be like, hey, my Visa was stolen, I need my money back. And they get to keep their shit, they get their money back, and the small business actually loses out on the item, the money, and then there's a fine for having the chargeback done anyway. So they lose multiple times. And crypto, there's that no refund-esque experience when it comes to the commerce. So you don't have to worry about somebody walking in and out of the store and then doing a chargeback and keeping all the items.
Right. And that's kind of why I'm moving away from traditional style business and not 100% focused on just the point of sale device, because it's almost like a last stand, almost like a Me Too kind of thing, where Yeah, it's great and it's a wonderful technology, provided that we continue to do commerce the way that we have been for the past 100 years. But if we no longer have the necessity, because we don't work outside of our homes, to hit a 7-Eleven and get that 7-Eleven spread every morning, we're not going to be doing that shit.
I've been doing Uber Eats way more than going to the store myself recently.
100%, dude. And the beauty of that is that this new digital economy completely rewards that kind of behavior, because we're saving money by driving around. It's better for the planet to stay in our own home. It feels like a form of, jail sometimes, but we don't need to fucking leave the house. Like, there's no reason why I need to leave my house other than exercise and just look at trees and stuff.
Yeah, I'm an introvert by nature anyway, man. I'm a hermit. The only time I ever really left was to go to the conferences to have fun. Like, that was it. It was like, why go to Six Flags when I can go to, like, Coinvention? Shout out to investor Milton for the €20, which is like 25 US. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. He said, smoke a fatty for me. New Year's, bro. Garden State crypto all day. Investor Milton, thank you so much, bro. I'm gonna smoke a fatty, but I'm actually gonna vape a fatty because 2020, trying to get into all the new things, and this is financially smart for anybody who consumes cannabis on a regular basis. And that's a great segue into payment solutions for industries such as the cannabis industry. We're starting to see during this lockdown and pandemic the adult entertainment and sex work industry thriving to the point Pornhub got rid of PayPal and only accepts crypto for Pornhub now. So that is the only way to get a membership on Pornhub is with a cryptocurrency. Do you think that we're going to start seeing in 2021 these, because New Jersey just got the green light, pun intended, for recreational cannabis. So I'm starting to see more and more states get that green light, but federally speaking, they still can't get a bank account for their business to pay their employees, to do their, stocks, to resupply. When I say stocks, like stocking, resupplying. I'm curious, with payment solutions kind of in your peripheral, do you see the industries adopting cryptocurrency and so much, like, more so than, not? Like, I don't know. It's curious. Like, not too many dispensaries are accepting Bitcoin yet. But I think after this year, it kind of made it legitimized enough that they might.
Yeah, well, the goal is not, I don't think anyway, the goal is not to use Bitcoin specifically for payments, just because, like
fees.
The moon is just fucking pointless. But there's plenty of other currencies that do exist that are
I lost your audio, damn it. Not you, me.
Oh.
You're back, sorry.
It's all good. Stable coins would be the most beneficial currency to use for that, because they don't fluctuate in value. But yeah, that's what we're focusing on right now too. Part of what we're focusing on is trying to get that cannabis industry, because I'm not gonna lie, obviously there's a lot more money flowing through a cannabis shop than there is even like a 7-Eleven. They wish.
Right.
And wish. And the problem I'm having with dispensaries is the dispensaries, because they're too smart. They're not like the average business owner who are blinded by just the business itself. They were innovative in a time where cannabis was illegal, and they were doing things that, that other businesses didn't have to do. So they're just not going to get caught up like the average business owner would. Mm-hmm. And they own their own ATMs. So they're making a ton of money off of that, and they're not excited about getting any extra payment processing fees or anything like that.
When you start to show them, though, it can save X amount on their armor car services. I didn't realize how much money these dispensaries spend on something as simple as weed maps. Weed Maps is like $10K a month on average for a dispensary just to be listed on the application. In retrospect, they probably make that in half of a day in sales. Like, let's be real, but it's a lot of money. And I'm thinking their armored car services when they have the cash pickups, and then they when you go to a dispensary, most places there's like 5 cops working at the thing, or private security working to make sure nobody robs the place because it's a honeypot. So there are some incentives. I just think they haven't, been, I guess, like, exploited by them enough, or like, they haven't gotten pushed into that corner by all these fees yet. But I think that's going to start to happen when we start to see more and more dispensaries pop up and their individual profits kind of balance out and lower down. Because they have a monopoly right now.
Well, and that's why I'm trying to create this course, or I'm not trying, I'm creating that course, because there's not enough education specifically for business when it comes to cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it's always like investor, and it's never like end user, which is the business that's going to accept it and use it. Right,
and so, I'm focusing on the whole big picture, because people need to understand that cryptocurrency in itself is like its own business. I mean, you don't need to involve anything else in order to make it successful. You don't need many humans, you just need systems, and that's what I'm trying to develop, is systems. So I can get a funnel of human beings. I can directly, advertise my course to the people that are looking for the education, and, I can teach them how to not only purchase cryptocurrencies, just the basic, like, how do you buy, because people just don't know, all the way to how do you invest long term, what's the best tax benefits to long-term trading as opposed to day trading, and then also how to allocate as a business, how to allocate your assets in order to establish long-term wealth by storing it.
Imagine if a smart small business would take their Bitcoin that they accepted for whatever pizza at the register and then stored it on something like Celsius instead of accepting cash and putting it in Wells Fargo, and showing them the difference in interest they would earn by being a business that is being their own bank.
Precisely, and that is 100% the direction. Is cryptocurrency was the beginning, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing for me. And then I took that micro view on things, like, okay, well, this is my life and my experience. How can I develop that into a macro, or where, like, to where the entirety of society can understand, like, look, we don't need banks, we don't need politicians, we don't need all this bullshit.
They could all be replaced with protocols and smart contracts, all of them.
Right. So here's like the big picture for smart digital payment. We have partnered with a nonprofit in Portland called Taking Ownership PDX, and we're still dealing with, they're trying to get their 501c3 and all that stuff so they can accept payments directly, and we plan on setting them up with our payment systems. And what I want to do is start in Portland, Oregon, and start taking the payment processing from the previous businesses and establishing our payment systems. And up front, we give 50% of our profits to Taking Ownership PDX, who goes around and fixes the poor and impoverished communities of Portland, Oregon, and helps, they fix their roofs. They just helped this lady have a whole Christmas, like
That's cool.
The guy, Randall, he's amazing. And so I believe in his dream, and I want to feed that and fuel that with, part of my business. But with that, we're basically taking the veins of, like the wealth and redistributing the wealth in a way that makes sense for the community. So what I'm trying to accomplish is, what we do is it's called cash discounting, where we charge the customers like a small percentage, 4% per transaction, and the business owner doesn't pay anything but a monthly fee, $198 a month, which
that's a lot cheaper than most point of sale service fees.
Yeah. So in order to redistribute the responsibility evenly, kind of like communism, but from the ground up, and you don't need legislation in order to accomplish it, or force anybody to do anything. So you take that 4% per transaction that the customers that are shopping at the business, they're buying the milk, they're buying their eggs, whatever, and 50% of the transaction fees are going directly into an organization that is specifically going around fixing poor and impoverished neighborhoods, Taking Ownership PDX. So the money instead of going in my pocket or some banker's pocket, it's going directly into taking ownership PDX's pocket, and then that money is redistributed back into that specific neighborhood that surrounds that business, that all those people shop at that business. So
well, could you imagine if Detroit had a model like this put into effect, where all the small businesses, as they made money, the money went back into making the surrounding area a better place?
Right. And so now you take that, so you think I'm ripping out the veins of society and redistributing the wealth in a fair manner to a company that I believe in, that's making, huge strides in just helping in general, just being good people and helping.
When does this start? You said in Portland, right?
Correct. Yeah. Taking Ownership PDX is the nonprofit that we're attempting to accomplish this with.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And PDX is Portland's, what do they call that? Like handle. Yeah. It's ticker. Portland's ticker.
So with that, we start that process, and everyone, all that redistribution of wealth. But then we have Smart Digital Payments, that is a community of people that are financially educating the community on how to be their own bank. So not only are we redistributing the wealth from the businesses and all the transactions going back into the community, but now we're focusing on educating that specific community, so where they're financially intelligent and no longer need to rely on the industry, or the global economy or whatever, like working and things like that in order to gain income, because part of the redistribution of wealth will be basically like sharding off ownership of the neighborhood.
Right.
So we just start buying the real estate with some of that money and giving it to the people that live in the community, so that now they own their community. They get a chunk of the revenue from the community, and they don't need anything else.
And this is how you get self-sovereign cities, or self-sovereign states, self-sovereign towns, or whatever.
Worlds, bro.
Right, worlds. Exactly, man. Do you think this is a good opportunity to kind of like pitch this? Like, what's the benefit for a small business right now to do something like this? So like philanthropic, to give back. What do they get out of it now that they're in this position during the pandemic, where we've seen more small businesses get pushed into a corner where, they are starting to experiment because they're either going to do something different and survive, or continue to do what they're doing until they're just dead?
Well, I'll use a business specifically. I'm not going to name them, but I know what they're paying and what they make. They're making $800,000 a month, basically. I mean, it's an insane amount of money. And with that, they're paying 3.5 or more percent for their payment processing. So you're talking about 20 something or 30 something thousand dollars a month that they're paying for their processing. So that's the benefit right there for that company. It's it's a year's worth of mortgage on a decent house.
Yeah. And that's 1 month. Just think of the year's benefits, where they could do a Christmas bonus with the money saved. Or they could pass it on to the customers, and we'll start seeing prices of goods and services decrease because of the savings on the friction of paying for them have gone down.
Right. Or they take that extra money and they invest it into cryptocurrencies, and use their own self as their own bank, and take that 6% they're gaining in their Celsius or Nexo accounts, and paying off the payment processing fees, and still profiting 2%. And that way the customers no longer have to pay. The community still gets fixed. Like there's endless amounts of benefits, but that being the financial benefit directly to the business owner would be enough, in my opinion, as a business owner. But then you got to think about watching around your business. If the neighborhoods around your business are getting better, your business will be worth more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that, not only that, but now everyone's going to know, hey, we shop at the business where Smart Digital Payments is, then 50% of that goes into our own neighborhood, and it's like taking ownership PDX. Well, they have a long list of people who need help in these neighborhoods.
Oh, the thing that people may not get about this is you're doing this in Portland. where people actually give a shit about all of that. You know, like I've been to Portland a few times, and I think the best thing I've been exposed to by experience in Portland firsthand were the barter shops or whatever. I don't know what to call them. It's like a swap meet or some shit. You can just like walk into a store with a bushel of oranges and get like a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread and leave.
Or a gun.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like people just like trade things openly, and it's like really cool to see. Like, bring your own jar for coffee. Like, none of the coffee comes in a jar. It's just like a big thing of coffee, and you have to bring your own jar to put it in, weigh it, and then pay for it when you leave. Like, Portland cares a lot about how they spend and engage with their businesses and how those businesses impact their environments. So it's going to be really cool to see how this kicks off there, because I think it's a really great Peachtree dish place for that.
Right. And then so basically that's the overall goal, is to redistribute the wealth, to financially educate people on cryptocurrencies. Not only that, but in doing so, I mean, we are heavily invested in cryptocurrencies. So the more we educate people about it, the more money we make, and we don't have to be money grubbers and steal all that percentage from the transaction fees. That is directly just my philanthropic side, you know, just taking control over things instead of, you know, wait till I'm rich to give back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, no better time than now to start giving back. Honestly, we're in a bull run. This giving back should be the season. You know, I'm curious. You touched on something earlier. I wanted to bring back up was stable coins. And I think stable coins is definitely going to see the mass adoption that we all kind of want to see Bitcoin. You know, where like Walmart and all these local businesses accept Bitcoin or Litecoin. Shout out to Litecoin. I see you, Johnny. But I think it's stable coins that will honestly be the first to market when it comes to real true mass adoption. You know, either it's Tethers, USDT, or Gemini or whatever. I think stable coins are going to be that first one to really take off.
Right. And there's a lot of cool things happening with that too. If you look at what's going on with Flare networks and all that stuff, there's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, stable coins are starting to get some real love, you know, outside of just like the traders. I'm starting to see people actually use it to transact with, you know, and it's interesting to see. Right now we're in a bull run, so the volatility is in our favor. But bigger picture, you know, business wise, it's just not something, you know, big businesses can do really is mess with the volatility of the money they're accepting for their goods and services. So stable coins kind of has like the best of both worlds, where they have their keys, so they have their coins, and they also have their dollars. They have their, you know, stability.
Right.
And you can also probably, you know, put some of that on Celsius and earn some interest just on your stable coins. So you have some.
Right. So we obviously can't leave out NFTs out of this.
You know, dude, I didn't know how to bring that up with this. Like, I've just started having that, like, NFT for a t-shirt experience. And I'm just like, you know, are we going to see an NFT for a slice of pizza? Is that how Domino's is going to do it?
That's fucking cool. But almost pointless because, well, I mean...
It's like a gift card, though, right? Wouldn't they just use these NFTs like they would use a gift card? Where I could, like, buy a large pizza NFT, and that's like buying a large pizza, but then I can redeem it within the year because it might have an expiration date on the NFT, because that's how gift cards work. And maybe a store could sell 100 large pizzas in 1 month without actually having to make the 100 large pizzas, and now they have money that they can play with like they would normally do if they sold a shit ton of gift cards.
Right. Or in a hypothetical scenario to where, like, let's say you can fraction out, let's say you make 10,000 NFTs, all that backed by a certain percentage of your, you know, 1/10,000th of your business or whatever.
Right.
And then people can buy like you said, like a membership to pizzas, to where if they own that NFT, they own a part of that business. Therefore, the increase of value of that NFT provides that membership owner an allotted amount of pizzas in order to be an investor through NFT technology, you know, of that specific pizza establishment.
Right, and they could even use that to become a DAO where people could own an NFT, which is a percentage of the business that gives them voting rights on what the business sells. Maybe the community wants a consensus of Coca-Cola instead of Pepsi at that specific pizza store. So then they could, invest in the store, vote on the DAO, and change the business for how the majority of the customer base wants to actually shop and engage with that business.
Right, and that's where tokenization of businesses come into play, and that's what one of our goals is as well, is to tokenize our business. Therefore, people that actually believe in the structure of smart digital payments can have ownership of it. And if we have a community of people that are driving the value of the business, and it's in a form of like a DAO, to where everything just does its own thing, it's all automated,
right,
through NFT memberships and things of that sort, then you literally, the community is just trading ownership of the NFTs.
Yeah, I just saw a proposal passed for Mintable's NFT DAO, and if you're holding, you actually earn a percentage of the transactions. So essentially how you're saying you give half to the PDX charity foundation, you could also allocate a percentage to NFT holders of Smart Digital Payments NFTs. A percentage of each transaction gets airdropped to those NFT holders.
Right. Well, and that's where we're doing all sorts of stuff, man. I'm planning for the future. So, I mean, this is just what I'm doing, but it might not make sense to most people, but neither did a lot of things that a lot of rich people did.
That's true.
But so what we're doing is we're trying to focus on VR and like AR when it comes to the course material, and try to pick people out of virtual reality in order to, have them jump on board with the educational aspects. And through that, we're going to use NFTs for membership for that type of service. So that's where we can incorporate some of that kind of behavior.
Something like Decentraland crypto voxels, or like alt space and other, like, I'm just curious, like,
all of them, actually.
Okay.
Every single one, yeah. Well, because basically I want to be a prevalent figure in the future of educating the masses. And I think that my spirit, my goal, and the things that drive me to accomplish, and continue forward with smart digital payments is a necessity for the betterment of all of society and, in general. And if people can start thinking about business in a way of everyone profiting as opposed to the owners of the business and the CEOs profiting, then that starts not the trickle effect. I don't even want to say that, but the ripple effect, right? But that starts the whole ball rolling, because I don't need to be the one that's successful in this alone. I just need to be the person or one of the people that are doing it, that people can see how it's done, and then they start doing it as well.
Yep. Yeah, you got to lead by example. I aspire to inspire. That's been my motto since I got into crypto. It's just like, if I could just like make one person be like, well, shit, if Ken can do it, what can I do? I can do it too,
Right, and it is inspiring, man. Like, I wouldn't have got into NFTs if it wasn't for you. And then with the people that I met through, like platforms like Superworld, when you referred me over to there, that's, definitely part of our plans in the future. I can't disclose too much because everything's so fresh, but it's like.
Have you checked out the Aircoins app yet? It's a pretty cool application for like. It's almost like Pokemon Go, but instead of Pokemon like around your house, there's like random Satoshis and shitcoins all over the place, in an augmented reality, gotta catch them all kind of way.
Right. Well, and there's so much going on, dude, and I'll probably save that kind of stuff for another time, only because I don't want anybody to take my ideas, but
it is that time of year again, man, when the bull runs are charging, man. You start to worry about even speculating on the ideas you have.
Well, the cool thing is I want my ideas to exist regardless of whether or not I'm the one that profits. So, and nobody's got the tenacity that I do, and I've never seen it anyways. Like, I work 24/7. I found a way to incorporate my entire life to where everything I do is a good deed and I make money doing it. And so it's like, nobody's going to unless they have spent the entire quarantine on focusing on how to better the world in the future, and actually putting forth the actions and creating the relationships and partnerships like I have, and creating the course material and everything, like I doubt there's many people that have done that as much work as I've done to be positioned where I am now, where it's going to be needed during the beginning of the bull run. People are going to be Googling cryptocurrencies or how do I accept Bitcoin in my business? And I've got hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content that are saying, how do I accept cryptocurrencies in my business? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, corner of the SEO market.
100%, yeah.
So what kind of small businesses do you have people already ready to go and start, utilizing this when it's, ready?
We have a hemp processing business that we're trying to get set up to accept this, but we had fires in the Northwest and some of their farms got burnt, and like it kind of put a damper on the situation. But as of right now, I have not been focusing on getting businesses in general to use our devices, because I'm not looking for a fucking job. What I want is to develop a system to where people that want my services can find them, and through SEO and through word of mouth and things like that, because my intentions are not to run a payments company. My intentions are to redistribute wealth in society and financially educate people so that all the pain and suffering can go away.
Yeah, I was on a podcast yesterday and somebody told me to introduce myself and show myself, and I was like, man, if they don't know who I am, it's all right. They don't need to, but I'm here if they ever need me. Right. That's what I'm here for. I don't care for the attention much, but just being easily findable for those that are looking for somebody like me to help them. Good. I hope I'm there, but I don't. Yeah.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. What did you want to make sure we talked about? Anything that you had in mind specifically, or anything you wanted to ask me or mention?
I just want the ball to start rolling on my, on my dreams and things like that. So, I'm looking for exposure. I'm looking for people who want to help me finish or, add specific content that they want to see in the course material. People that are looking to share profit by being a part of Smart Digital Payments. We offer 50% commissions. So what I do, let's say if it's taking ownership PDX that is referring me to businesses, that's what gives them their 50%. The difference with taking ownership PDX and other businesses though, is that I'm intentionally running my business through taking ownership PDX, and helping them get deals through us so that they can get that 50%. With other people who are going to be working for me or want to, make money off Smart Digital Payments, I give them that 50%, instead.
What about independent, workers, the entrepreneurs, people that may not have a business, but work for themselves? How does something like this fit into that? Because I've actually recently had a few sex workers reach out to me during this bull run and ask, how do I accept, crypto, instead of, PayPal for something like my OnlyFans? Is there a crypto replacement for this yet? Or how do I accept, this for my Snapchat premium? And yeah.
Right. What we do is we replace their nipples with QR codes. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's as long as they have it, they need to be an entity of some sort. So they need to have a tax ID number. They need to be a legitimate business. But other than that, yeah, we can pretty much help anybody. And I'm open and willing to helping just about anybody. It just needs to be fiscally appropriate, because, for $198 a month, that's what I'm trying to incorporate the course as well. And kind of if someone's a membership of the course, then they get access to nonstop phone calls from me. I'll walk them through whatever they want, and I have a team of people that that day trade and will help them navigate the charts, and with that they get unlimited processing, payment processing for that $198 that they would be spending as a business or whatever. They spend that to get access to the course to financially educate themselves. And then I just give them free payment processing because I charge the customers 4% anyway.
Is that legal?
Yep.
All right. I just didn't know if you could charge the customer because I was sure like businesses couldn't do that, but they had to like work around it.
If you call it a chargeback, then you can't do it. If you don't call it a chargeback, you can do it. And I don't feel guilty about it because, like I said, I'm redistributing all that wealth back into their houses, fixing their roofs for free, fixing their electricity, their landscaping, so all they're doing is, instead of giving that money, like let's say, for instance, the business keeps having to spend that 4%, that in some of those businesses, 30 grand a month. The products are so much more expensive. The business doesn't get fixed up right, and all that money goes to one guy. So this way, they're paying that 4%, and 2% goes into the neighborhood. The other 2% is to keep my business running so that I can continue to, help people.
Litecoin Tech Support said, huge trend in payments is to pass the credit card fees to the customer. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, I always figured that, but it was just like, as a customer, it's like, is that legal? Right. Just as the customer's perspective.
Well, if you look at the ATM fees, who's paying that? The customer.
That's true, actually. That's a very good point.
And that's $3.50 at some places, and if you're at a strip club, it's $8. It's like,
yeah, if you're at one that isn't awful and jerks, man. I've been to some where the fucking ATM fee is like $10-$20. Seriously.
Yeah, because they realize supply and demand. You need that cash money, because perverts don't freaking jerk for free, I guess.
It costs. It's expensive to be a perv, that's for sure. It's definitely not a cheap hobby.
Right.
You mentioned the ATM machines, and that actually reminds me of like that business model where stores won't accept credit cards, but they'll have an ATM machine in the corner, and technically they accept credit cards because they have the ATM machine in the corner. And instead of Visa charging them that 3.5% for accepting the credit card at the register, they actually make that a percentage of the transaction fees for using the ATM machine, and then they get paid. I think that somehow, I'm not like in the point of sales world, but I mean, I'm sure that there is a way to like show the obvious business model that either throw a Bitcoin ATM machine in the corner and do the same thing as well, or something along those lines, where businesses make money by having a machine that makes money, to give them money. I think, do you think it would make sense for businesses to experiment like that, where instead of at the register they accept Bitcoin or stable coins, that they have a machine in the corner that, like an ATM machine, you send Bitcoin to it, spits out fiat, and then you go and take that to the register?
Well, that's what our devices are capable of as well. So you can, the business preloads the devices with whatever cryptocurrencies that are on the device, which right now we have Ethereum, Bitcoin, BNB, NPXS, and I think DAI, and a few others. So you preload the device, and then people can just come up with their tap card. They say, I want $20 in Bitcoin, and they tap their card. That loads their, takes their fiat from their account and loads their card with Bitcoin, and then they use that card to transact.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it basically turns the point of sale system into its own little ATM machine system.
100%. So then that's the problem I have with like Bitcoin ATMs, and I'm not trying to step on any toes because I can, it's like I would love to sell those as well. But like if a business is going to have something like a Bitcoin ATM, it would only serve the business more to also have a point of sale device that accepts the currencies that they're selling.
That makes sense.
And right now, most businesses aren't set up to accept those currencies. So why are we setting them up? It's like, here you go. Why, if I walked into a business that only accepted red coins, why would I go into that same business and buy a bunch of green coins? Why would I, as a business, sell a bunch of fucking green coins if all I accept is red coins? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I like
That's a good demographic audience, though. Any business that has a Bitcoin ATM machine in it is potentially a smart digital payments, business customer immediately, because it just makes sense. It's a hand-in-hand scenario.
Right. Well, and that's why I wanted to talk to Johnny Litecoin too. Back when I was on a stream with them, from John Caffarelli, the Crypto Quandary had a live stream.
They're in the chat. They're listening. I see them.
And that's why I was like, that'd be perfect, because then I could segue, like I could refer all of my business to get one of their ATMs if someone just wants to roll in and get cash and not want to mess with the point of sale part of it. And then with them, it's like give them 50% commissions on anybody who wants to sell that device as well. It's a copacetic relationship.
You can do that already with CoinFlip, just for the record. You just go to their website, apply, and you're in. And then every business that gets a smart digital payments, point of sale solution tool, you can also pitch them an ATM machine and make money selling both at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. Or if one has the other should have the one.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of, get on that, like, how do we, on-ramp these businesses? How's that elevator pitch start? Or how's the experience going to start? Like for those that have zero, tech savviness or crypto savviness, how are we going to get those businesses? Because it's probably going to come down to the mom and pop shops, to be honest, before it's the bigger companies and corporations. So how do we comfort these mom and pop shops to experiment in our little sandbox?
Well, and that's kind of where being a caring person comes into play, because I'm willing to play with profits in order to, appease people's feelings, I guess. And for me, it's basically, I want to say, I opened the question with, how are you affected by this whole pandemic situation? Would you benefit from maybe taking those processing fees and eliminating them, putting them down to just $198 fee, and then charging the customer that 4%? It's literally saving businesses, because they're not paying thousands of dollars a month. And the customers don't even care. Like, most customers don't care about a 4% transaction.
Well, they probably wouldn't even see it, because if the businesses are saving that much, they'd probably be able to pass on that 4% saving to make it a wash at the end of the day, at least.
Right. Well, and people will be motivated to use that business based upon the fact that, knowing that 50% of all the money that they're spending on that transaction is going to be reallocated into their neighborhood, which is only going to make their properties more valuable.
I wonder how that's going to work out with, like, taxation. Because every time I buy a can of Coke, I'm paying tax on the Coke, but I'm also making a donation to a charity. If I were to buy enough Coke, I could potentially donate enough through the transaction fees that it's a write-off.
Right. And that's kind of the goal, is fuck the man.
Yeah. Yeah. In all sense, when I say be your own bank, like, be your own Red Cross, be your own business, be your own everything. We have to start, taking responsibility and start doing those things ourselves as communities, and stop giving those responsibilities up to corporations.
100%. Or if you're going to be a corporation like myself, and, intend on becoming a much larger business than, anyone anticipates.
I think there'll be a new word for companies that are more community oriented than because it's more of a symbiosis business model than a parasitic business model. And when you say company, you think, oh, well, they make money off of, ripping people. That's how they do it. It's business 101, screw somebody over. But I think when it comes to more like virtuous business models like that are caked in community oriented, I think there'll be new words that describe these things. We're seeing vernaculars pop up all the time, from Urban Dictionary right on over to Webster's Dictionary, and it's like a real official word. I think, as we evolve as a society with new tech, we will need new vernaculars to describe the things that set the differences apart.
Right. And it's like, that's where the tokenization part comes into play as well. And what makes it so beautiful is that as smart digital payments grows by the efforts of the community and through the pocketbooks of the community, they also gain ownership through the allocation of the tokenization. So like, it's not like Mike Smart is getting rich off people. It's Smart Digital Payments is becoming a wealthy organization, hopefully a DAO at some point. That's a self-ran organization that is purely grows on referral base and donation, philanthropic efforts. And it's just a machine by itself that is it's a good machine, I think, a God machine.
Well, that's what blockchain, I think, provides, is that it was the missing ingredient to a perpetual motion machine of a sort. Whatever that will be, is yet to be established, but it is that key ingredient, I believe. Like we have found a way to do perpetual finance.
Right. And now, if you incorporate all this stuff together when it comes to the desperate need of society to reallocate those funds to these poor communities, but the also desperate need for financial education and the need for, people who are disenfranchised specifically, a structure like this will build society in a manner in which we won't need to fight for our right to vote, because there's nothing to vote about. Everyone's needs are taken care of. If we need something, we revert back to the community and say, hey, taking ownership PDX, I need this. And then they go freely give it to that person because that person resides in a community where all of their money is allocated to that purpose specifically. It's their own personal choice to shop at the store, and the money, it just directly goes back. There's no voting, there's no questioning anything. It's just, I need this, we give it. And we do it in a sense to where they've already given their chunk by purchasing in their neighborhood.
With a model like this, how do you prevent bad actors from taking advantage of it,
Well, what do you mean?
Where it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't really need somebody to pay for my roof to get fixed. I could pay for it, but I'd much rather, just have somebody else pay for it. So reach out to PDX and have that. I'm just wondering how to prevent people that don't necessarily need help from overtaking and not leaving enough on the table for those that actually need it.
Well, and that's where taking ownership PDX, and discernment comes into play, because they go out, interview, and find the need. People in the community refer, a lot of their customer base is referral based, to where, hey, my friend who, needs this, that, and the other thing, and they just provide, you know what I mean? So there will be, if the person resides in the communities that we're helping, they probably need it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Right. And then when that expands to a global effort, then things will change, and, it'll be different. There'll be so much money going around through all the financially educated people that are a part of taking ownership PDX and a part of smart digital payments, and whoever wants to attach themselves to this as well. There's going to be so much money to go around that even if there's a few bad actors that slide through, the house is still getting fixed, and it's still in the neighborhood. So it still raises the value of everyone's life, and it's fine.
Where do you plan on launching the course? Like Udemy or something like that?
It's on Thinkific right now.
Oh, okay. So you can already do it. I thought you said you were going to do it. It's already...
I'm not finished.
Okay.
I'm doing so much stuff, and that's why I'm trying to reach out to people and try to build a team to where people can help me finish the course material, because, like I said, I raised 2 kids by myself, and I'm running a business and doing all this stuff. And, it's like, I can't just build a course. I have to do it all at the same time, because I'm the only person pretty much. So,
where is it? Where is it at?
Thinkific. The link's in my bio on Instagram and Twitter. It's called SDP Wealth Builders Course and Community. I might change that name because nobody's going to Google SDP Wealth Builders Course and Community.
SEO is key, bro.
Right. But I was trying to maintain the same branding, and I think it's going to bite me in the foot. But either way,
I got you.
The course is already being developed, and I'm trying to do it in a fashion to where I can walk people through exactly what I've done to make a ton of money. But I may revert back to just trying to educate people on how to buy, sell cryptocurrencies, why to do it, why to accept it in your business, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's got to show businesses how to be their own banks, man. Like somebody's got to be there for the businesses, not just the individual, investor, but the corporate, the business levels. These we want to see, somebody accepting Bitcoin. You have to show them how to use that Bitcoin like they would use that dollar that they're giving up.
And why to realize like all of their woes that exist through the structure that exists would not exist if they acted as their own bank. You would never ever worry about your bank not being able to relinquish your funds. You're your own bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I guess we could wrap things up here, man. Let people know, I guess, those little, closing statements or anything, or where they can go to find you, get in touch, and maybe contribute or help out with the course, or, get in touch with Smart Digital Payments and help their local business maybe accept some crypto.
Right, for sure. And the best place to go to get the most education about what Smart Digital Payments is and what we provide would be our Facebook page, because it's just got everything. It's got links to our crypto merch and all that stuff. It's got links to our NFTs, which we're going to be uploading a bunch more of those soon. So yeah, Facebook, Smart Digital Payments is the best place, but we're also on Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we're everywhere.
All right, good shit.
Yeah, visit us on Facebook.
All right, Mike, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. And shout out again to, what was it, Investor Milton, right? Hit me up. Yeah, Investor Milton with the €20 super chat. Appreciate that, man. Thanks, everybody, for watching live. Quandary, Johnny, I see you all in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. See you guys all in the Telegram or Discord channels after the show. Mike, Smart Digital Payments, dude, thank you so much. And happy fucking New Year, bro.
Right, Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on, man.
As always, guys, have a day.
Have a day.
There are many different ways to buy Bitcoin, but the cheapest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin with cash is with a coin flip Bitcoin ATM. Coin flip ATMs allow anyone to buy Bitcoin with the lowest fees and within just a few steps. Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm one of the hundreds of store owners who partner with CoinFlip. In this convenient store, we host a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM. We earn passive income, more foot traffic, and we get free advertising done by the CoinFlip team. Getting the ATM was easy. We just contact the CoinFlip team at info@coinflip.tech, and they handle everything with no cost to the store owner. This includes installation, maintenance, marketing, and even 24/7 customer service. We just provide a small space within the store. To get your own CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM and join the monetary revolution, contact CoinFlip today. info@coinflip.tech, or fill out the form at request.coinflip.tech. 773-800-0106.